How's it going, Diablo players? So if you struggle to make the gold you need for your master working, or for buying the items you want, or for whatever else, right now material prices are out of control, which gives us very, very strong gold making methods, and you can make more than 7 billion gold per hour. That being said, it will require a little bit of trading. It's not going to be annoying trading. We're just going to sell off some materials. If you're not interested in trading at all, which is completely fine, you can jump to the very end of the video into the section Raw Gold Farm. However, if you want to give trading a shot, just hop to the end of the video in the section where I do the full trade-off of all the materials, and you can see it really only takes 15 to 20 minutes to, in my case, sell all of my materials and make more than 20 billion gold. In this video, I'm going to show you the full breakdown of all the apparent methods to mainly farm materials and sell them off for gold. And there's some methods which might surprise you. For example, the Realmwalker is in there, and also the Worldbosses are in there. Stay with me here for a minute, and we're just going to go into the TLDR now, where I show you all the golds per hour. And then after that, we're going to break down the individual activities, how to run them, and what to expect of them. Now I'm going to show you the overview for all the methods, but just one thing really quickly. The spreadsheet you're seeing right here is linked in the description down below, so you can check it out for yourself. There's like some of the calculations and some screenshots of the drops you expect in there, but it's more like additional information you don't really need. So let's start with the actual breakdown here. The best method by far is farming tributes of titans in Kurast Undercity, either with a group or solo, and you can make up to 7.5 billion gold per hour, depending on how fast you are running. The second best method is Undercity farming runes with tributes of harmony, and you can right now, with the current rune prices, expect upwards of 3.5 billion gold per hour. The third method on the list is actually farming Helltide. This is due to the prices for living steel currently being extremely high, and you can expect somewhere around 2 billion gold per hour. Next on the list is Realmwalkers. Due to a recent change, these spawn 1 to 3 goblins while they are walking, and they walk a little bit faster as well. I know technically you cannot spam this event because they're only up like every 10 minutes or so, but if you go to one of these events once it's up, it's very efficient to just do it, get the boss materials, and you can expect roughly 2 billion gold per hour if you add up all the events and the time you need for it. Another activity you can do is actually world bosses. I know lots of people are not doing the world bosses anymore, but these actually drop materials and runes with the worth of roughly 250 million gold per run, and the world boss only takes like 2 to 3 minutes, so it's still fairly efficient to just go to the world boss and kill it once it's up. Second last on my list is farming whisper caches. So whisper caches drop a decent amount of boss summoning materials and a little bit of raw gold, but you're only gonna net roughly 900 million gold per hour if you do 12 whisper caches an hour, which is something which is achievable. However, you also get tributes and other stuff, so this is definitely still something you can do if you really want to. So last on my list here is the raw gold farm. So this you can do without trading, and this is Infernal Hordes and whisper caches. This is pretty much the only thing which is gonna reward you a decent amount of raw gold at all, and you can expect somewhere around 70 to 100 million gold per hour. That's it. Alright, here we have the best method to farm gold, which is farming tributes of titans in Kurast Undercity and then selling off the boss summoning materials. Really all you have to do is use your tributes of titans acquired by killing tormented bosses and run the Kurast Undercity with them. So most of the time you will have plenty of tributes of titans, but if you don't have so many tributes of titans, you just want to go to the Diablo IV Discord, and of course I have the link to the Discord in the description of this video down below. And go to the channel looking for group Undercity and then just search for a rotation for doing tributes of titans. If you are fast, a run should take somewhere around 2 minutes, so that actually means 30 runs per hour. And if you look at my spreadsheet here, within 1 hour, I drop roughly 501 boss materials, which get normalized to a certain number of steel, blood, fear, hearts, eggs, shards, dolls, and shackles. You don't have to care about how that's calculated. If you want, you can look it up in the spreadsheet, but if you take these values and sell them all on Diablo the Trade, you get somewhere around 7.6 billion in this calculation, and these values are actually from yesterday and are still pretty accurate as of today. So also in this run, I highly recommend you use the Seizing Opal of Torment. I didn't use them for these calculations, but if you follow my advice and do the Realmwalker events, use your Seizing Opals of Torment. They don't do a whole lot, but they are essentially free and they do a little bit. For up to 3.5 billion gold per hour, you can do the Undercity rune farming. And the good thing about this is you can do it on Torment 1. So pretty much everyone can do this. The downside is, well, it's kind of rough to find a group if you don't have enough tributes yourself. So for this, we're gonna use the Tribute of Harmony and we're just gonna run the Undercity on Torment 1. Why on Torment 1? Because on Torment 1 the Undercity drops 3 magic runes and we are looking for a total of 6 different magic runes, which are actually worth quite a bit of gold. So as you can see in the footage in the background, at the end of the Undercity it's always going to drop 4 runes, 3 of them are going to be magic and 1 is going to be rare or legendary. We are going to focus on the magic runs, even though you can find a rare or legendary rune which is actually worth something, you know what, it's rather unlikely. If you are fast, you need around 2 minutes for a run, so if we take into account there's a total of 13 magic runes and we get 3 magic runes per run, it means there's going to be a total of 1.38 good runes per run. Now assuming that all these runes have the same drop rate, which I see no reason why it would be any difference, it comes down to 0.23 drops per run per rune. So if we take 2 minutes for average time the run takes, which is pretty well achievable, after selling off all the runes you're gonna end up with more than 3.5 billion gold per hour. This does not include any extra drops from goblins, this does not include any potential rare or legendary runes you find, and it does also not include any drops from seizing opals. Now if you don't have enough Tributes of Harmony to farm this solo, you can still go into the Diablo IV Discord and search for a group rotation. It just works the same way than it works for the Titan rotations. So Helltide is a rather simple one, because the prices on living steel are so high right now, you can just farm the Helltide, open all the chests and sell off the living steels for a decent profit. In my run I got 66 living steels and 24 exquisite blood. The number of exquisite blood highly depends on how often you can do the blood maiden, so if there's a lot of people doing the blood maiden you will get significant more exquisite blood. A full Helltide takes roughly 30 minutes, so after selling off all the mats I made a profit of a little bit more than 2 billion gold per hour. That being said, I was particularly unlucky with my goblin spawn, so the more goblins you spawn in Helltide, the more summoning materials you will drop. I ended up just getting 1 or 2 goblins. In Helltide, make sure you're using the Seizing Opal for material drops, and also make sure to interact with all the Doomsayers you find on your way, because Doomsayers can spawn a treasure goblin, and the treasure goblin drops boss materials. Next on my list is Realmwalkers. So recently within a patch, as you can see in the patch notes on the screen right now, it says the Realmwalker now has a low chance to summon a treasure goblin. Well, it turns out it can actually summon 1 to 4 treasure goblins, and I have seen a lot of treasure goblins actually summoned by this one. So technically you cannot farm this for a full hour, but whenever a Realmwalker is up, you might as well just do the event and grab the extra boss materials from the treasure goblins. Also, in the final boss room of the Realmwalker, I find this drops also between 0 and 2 sets of boss materials quite often. Also, running Seizing Opals of Torment, which you can get from this Realmwalker events, boosts your material gain in all kinds of activities, so they are very well worth running all the time. So overall I would value the Realmwalker events as an average of 3.5 goblin drops per event, which comes down to roughly 2.36 billion gold per hour if you assume that the Realmwalker actually takes like 4 minutes to complete. So world bosses are actually quite decent when it comes to getting boss materials. Especially if you get the gold curse, because when it gets staggered it spawns 2 to 3 treasure goblins which drop extra materials. World bosses also drop a lot of rare tributes and other stuff, and they also drop 3 runes at the very end, which one of those is going to be magic, and as we already know, magic runes can be worth quite a bit of gold. So not much more to say about this. I assume a world boss to drop between 6 to 12 boss mats plus roughly 4 malignant hearts from these malignant mobs which spawn when other players actually are completing their world boss whispers. And then additionally it drops 1 magic rune, so valuing all that together it comes down to roughly 250 million gold per run. And given the fact that the world boss really only takes like 2 minutes to complete, it's very well a good activity you can do to just make some extra gold and also get those rare tributes which you need to run Undercity for even more gold gain. So the bartering system for the mercenaries is also a good way to just get some extra passive income. As you can see, I have a little bit more than 2k pale marks, and I'm just not getting any of these rewards here other than the boss summoning caches. So let's just restock and just keep getting the boss summoning caches, and in the end we make roughly 250 million gold per 1000 pale marks. So this is just a passive source of income. Your mercenaries level up for any kind of activities, and really I don't feel like getting all these masterworking caches. I'm not really getting anything out of these. Also like the aspect caches, I feel like, yeah, once in a while you get a greater affix items, but you know what, best of, you're just gonna skip all that stuff and just buy the boss summoning caches and just make raw cash out of them. So farming whispers is one of the methods where you can actually farm up to 100 million raw gold per hour, so it doesn't involve any trading. However, if you also trade off the boss materials and runes, you can make up to 900 million gold per hour, so combined it's roughly like up to 1 billion gold per hour. To do this, we mainly prioritize the PvP whispers, which are very fast to do. We prioritize the Helltide whispers. You can absolutely do the other Tormented Boss and Pit and Kura's Undercity and Infernal Hordes whispers, and also you can actually do Nightmare Dungeon whispers. There's also like a fairly efficient method how to run whispers in Nightmare Dungeons. So if you want to efficiently run Nightmare Dungeon whispers, I highly recommend just get a tab in your stash and just put all the Nightmare Dungeons in there, and then you just check the map and look for the dungeons. For example, this one here, Deadman's Dredge. Then you just go to your stash, go to your whisper tab, and just search for Dredge. Right, and then you see, okay, nice, I have a Deadman's Dredge. We're just gonna take it, activate it. Well, actually, you have to close the stash for that. So you activate it, and you just instantly jump to the Nightmare Dungeon. And it actually goes fairly fast, right? So the Nightmare Dungeons, most of them just take 2 minutes, and you also get Opticide. So let's just spam this Nightmare Dungeon and finish it real quick, and then we're gonna get the Whisper rewards. And then you finish the dungeon, you get your reward, teleport out, and repeat with the next dungeon. So by farming whispers, you can roughly expect 12 whisper caches per hour. Depending on how many greater or non-greater you get roughly 9 to 12 magic runes in total. And the amount of materials is not that huge, but they're still there. You get like a decent amount of materials. And you get another roughly 100 million raw gold per hour. It can also be a little bit less or a little bit more, depending on the caches you actually get. So everything combined, you can make somewhere between 900 million and 1 billion gold per hour just by farming whisper caches. And again, this is one of the only methods to actually farm raw gold if you're not interested in trading. So the last gold farm is one raw gold farm, which is Infernal Hordes. I highly do not recommend using this because the gold gain per hour is very, very little. But if you still want to end up doing this, you're basically just always gonna go 10 waves Infernal Hordes, because it's the most efficient, you're gonna get the most ether for your time, and you're gonna make roughly somewhere between 50 to 100 million gold per hour, depending on how much ether you actually get. So if you look at the footage right now, before I open the chest and after I open the chest, for Torment 4 Infernal Hordes with more than 900 ether, I actually just get like roughly 15 million gold, and it takes roughly 12 minutes to complete. So while I will show you the proof now how to sell off these materials and that it's actually very easy, I just want to note one thing really quick beforehand. So I'm using Diablo IV here and I'm using an ad blocker just for this video because I don't want to have advertisements in the video to not get any trouble with YouTube or whatsoever. I highly recommend you not to use ad blockers when using sites like this. I'm pretty sure the guys who are running Diablo Trade should deserve a little bit of cash for providing that service. So really, highly recommend, don't use these ad blockers. They are hurting the economy. I know ads are annoying, but they are part of our regular life, and you should not use ad blockers. Just think about the people who are offering services for you, essentially free. If you block their ads, they're not going to make money. And eventually, they would just shut down their service or find a better way of monetizing that. For example, making a sole premium service or whatever. So again, please don't use ad blockers. It really hurts everyone but you. Right, so just for proof that these materials actually sell and they sell very fast, let's actually start with selling off our stuff. So I'm doing this in a split screen here. You're probably going to have a second monitor to can do this in 2 tabs, but just for the sake of the recording, I'm going to do this in a split screen here. So what are we going to do? We are going to sell the materials we found within the last runs. So this is probably worth like 3 or 4 hours of farming. So this is not exactly everything I show in the footage. There's a little bit more farming involved in here. But this is just for proof that these materials actually sell off very easily. So as you can see, we're going to sell all these boss summoning materials here, which is a bunch of them. And then we're going to sell off some magic runes, which is the runes we basically farm for. It's the 6 ones which actually have a value. So let's start listing these. So we're going to go in Diablo.trade and we're going to start with create listing. And well, basically we got to find out what the materials are worth first, right? So let's just go to marketplace and we go to items. Then we're going to filter and we're going to select selling, search for sellers. So let's start with the boss materials. So we're going to start with exquisite blood here. So by just looking at it, we can see, you know, the current price is probably somewhere around 10 million. So I always undercut a little bit, right? So I'm gonna do 9 million. So I'm just gonna open this in a new tab to be more, for it to be a little bit more easier. So we're gonna choose consumables, and then we're gonna choose boss materials. We're gonna choose exquisite blood. Let's see how much we have. We have 200. Well, let's just leave the last stack open for it to be more simple. So then we actually have 200, 300, 350, right? So do 350 piece, 9 million each. Submit. Let's go for the next one. This is going to be Malignant Hearts. So we open the filter again, and we just go back to boss materials. We uncheck the exquisite blood. We go for the Malignant Heart. Again, we just look for it. Okay, so it seems to be roughly like 17, 16 million, somewhere around that. So we're just going to list it for 15 here again. So let's the create listing is still open. We go for Malignant Heart. And we have actually 100, 200. So let's just make this 200 and not sell this. And we do 200 and it's 15 million gold, right? Right, let's go. Sell. Then let's go for the next one. That's going to be the Living Steel. So again, boss materials, we uncheck this, we check this, look for the price here. So the price for Living Steel, for whatever reason, is crazy high right now. I'm just gonna list them for, I guess there's like a bunch with 8 million here. It's not a lot though. So the 10 million is probably gonna be overpriced. So you know what, I'm just gonna list them for 8 million as well. So we go for the Living Steel here. Oops, Living Steel. So how many do we have? We have 100, 200, 300, 400. So we do 400 Living Steel, 400 for, I think it was 8 million, right? 8 million. All right, submit Living Steel here. And let's go for the Distilled Fear. We uncheck the Living Steel, we go for the Distilled Fear. And that's 100, 200, let's make it 300. So this, you can see, it's like 10 million-ish. So let's just list it for 9. And we have 300, right? Yes. So 300, let's go for 9 million. And that is actually Distilled Fear. Right, then we got the X left, so let's just list 100 here. Same story. Go back, uncheck it. Check the new one. And we can see it's roughly 10 million, so we're going to sell them off for 9. So we go for the X, and we have 100 and sell them for 9 million. So then we have the Shard of Agony here. Again, we uncheck the X. Okay, go for. So as you can see, they already start buying here. So it has a little delay, right, until they actually start buying. So the shards right now are crazy expensive. I also have no clue why, but let's just list them for 19 million here. So let's go for shards. And we have, well, let's make it 99 this time. And we sell them for 18 million. So we're not done yet, but you know, I'm still gonna go into the chat here. So let's go for the chat. And we have the first guy. We post the battle tag. And now it's already gonna start. Same story. Post the battle tag. Ask how many. 400. And now, you know, let's just make this a little larger here. And start setting off our stuff. So I always recommend, if you invite these people. Okay, so apparently there was a patch. So let's just pause this for a second and install the patch here. Which is pretty annoying. Whenever you see this, the version, whatever, blah, 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 then you gotta install a patch. So you're gonna just tell them 1 second patch. Alright, so now we downloaded the patch, and as you can see on the left side, I'm already having like a bunch of people messaging me within the last 5 minutes, wanting pretty much to buy everything right now. So we're gonna do this real quick now, so you can see it really doesn't take so long. And now I probably, like, unfortunately I have a little bit of a stack right now of people wanting to buy it, so it's gonna be a little bit more complicated to work them off. So you have to basically look, you know, who is this guy and what he wants to buy, right? This one wants to buy 100 distilled fear, and then, you know, kind of gotta go from there, right? You just reveal your battle tag to all these guys, and then just wait until they add you, and you invite them one by one, right? And then you always check on the other side, basically, what they wanted to buy. And it can be a little bit stressful, but usually it's not such a huge deal. It's just now because I had to basically wait for the patch to download. So this one wants to buy all distilled fear, so let's give all of them. You always want to sell all if possible. So now, again, now it's gonna be a little bit annoying to do all these trades. It's really unfortunate, but I don't want to restart this whole process now. It's gonna be very annoying. So you're always just gonna wait until people come to you, right? So you're not going to them or whatever. So now you can see the first guy is coming. It's like this Chauvin or whatever. So now you look at your friends list, what the character name. So it's like this one here. Then you look what he's actually buying. Then you see he wants to buy all the shards of agony. And then you just trade them off. I don't even know if that's going to be correct, but, you know, it's probably good. It's actually not even remotely correct. So it's 900 million. So you don't want to get ripped off, right? So you take 18 times 99, and it's 1.8 billion, bro. Good. So then you don't want to mark the salt, you want to delete. It's much more convenient if you just delete. So now you... So very annoying is if these guys are just not moving. Because, you know, the trade is just not going to happen if they don't move to you, right? You don't follow these guys. You just stand here and wait for them to trade you. If they don't come and trade you, you know what? You just don't do it. You just post your battle tag to all these guys and just invite them and just wait for them to trade you. So as you can see, now I have the next one, which is the Jacob one. So I look what he wants to buy. Okay, he wants to buy Malignant Heart times 200. So let's trade him.
Hello.
And then it takes like a minute until you can actually trade. Give him 200 Malignant Heart for 3 billion gold. Delete them.
Thank you.
Right. The next guy. And this whatever guy, you're just gonna block him because he's not gonna move here. Remove him. So we have Distilled Fear times 300 for 9 each, which is going to this Fight Milk guy here. Again, you look at your friends list, you look at Fight Milk, and you see, you know, what's character name is like Nimue or whatever. So you can kind of, you know, see who it is, because you will have a difference between the displayed character names and the displayed battle tags. So I will always basically look at the friend list who the guys actually are, right? He wants to buy 300 Distilled Fear. $2.7 billion. Go. Sold. Delete the listing. Alright, so this guy unfortunately is done because we already sold this. So it's kind of unfortunate, but that is unfortunately how it goes. This guy. So this guy here wants the distilled, wants the living steel. This is sold. This is sold. Okay, now we get another buyer here. Okay, so this one wants the Duriel ones. This was all of them, right? Yeah. I don't even know what the price was. So if you don't remember the price, you can always go to my listings. You see the price, 9 million each.
It shows violence.
So you think that is... So this problem is really just caused by the patch downloading, because, you know, I have all these requests I have to do, and that's really freaking annoying, I have to say. So it's really like, if people are just too slow for this, then they are too slow for this, right? So you can't really do anything about it. So I guess we sold off everything but the I don't understand what this guy wants. Anyway. So this is 400 times 8. So as you can see, I didn't even get to list the other ones because I was already setting them up so fast. So 200, 300, 400. Right. Like these are sold as well. Okay, so now let's actually continue with listing the other stuff we still have. Let's see if we actually listed the blood. I don't actually remember. So let's see my listings. Yeah, we listed the blood. So next thing we're gonna do is we list the shackles. So let's just go and check the boss materials again, selling, equipment type, boss materials, and we go for the shackles here. So the shackles are roughly, yeah, let's make it 7. No, actually, let's make it 9. And, well, this guy has actually a lot, so, and these are not really worth so much, honestly. So I'm gonna make this, yeah, I guess I'm gonna make it 8 million. So let's create a list. Equipment, not equipment, consumables, boss materials, we go for the shackles, and we have 94, and we go for 9 million each. And then we're gonna go for the dolls. So we're gonna unlist the shackles, gonna list the dolls. And they are, well, these prices are stupid, like nobody's gonna pay that. So we're gonna sell them for 9. Dolls go for 127, and we're just gonna sell them for 9 million. Let's go to our chat again. It's the same guy who already left, so whatever. So for whatever reason, nobody wants the blood, but we can already start listing the runes here. So this is the, let's just check for the prices here also. We do the same story, right? We go for marketplace, and then we go for items. Then we go for runes, and then we're gonna just search for them. Like Sem rune here, whatever. Right, and these go for like, well, let's make it 90, fair deal. Right, so we go for consumables, and then we go for runes. Then we go for this one here, and we sell 21 for 90 million each. Just remove all these friends here. Right, so next rune we have is Moni. So we go for runes. We go for, this is sold. This is sold. Okay, now we get another fire here. Okay, so this one wants the Duriel ones. This was all of them, right? Yeah. I don't even know what the price was. So if you don't remember the price, you can always go to my listings. You see the price, 9 million each.
It shows violence.
So you think that is... So this problem is really just caused by the patch downloading, because you know I have all these requests I have to do, and that's really freaking annoying, I have to say. So it's really like, if people are just too slow for this, then they are too slow for this, right? So you can't really do anything about it. So I guess we sold off everything, but I don't understand what this guy wants. Anyway. So this is 400 times 8. So as you can see, I didn't even get to list the other ones because I was already selling them off so fast. So 200, 300, 400. Right. Like these are sold as well. Okay, so now let's actually continue with listing the other stuff we still have. Let's see if we actually listed the blood. I don't actually remember. So let's see my listings. Yeah, we listed the blood. So next thing we're gonna do is we list the shackles. So let's just go and check the boss materials again, selling, equipment type, boss materials, and we go for the shackles here. So the shackles are roughly, yeah, let's make it 7. No, actually, let's make it 9. And, well, this guy has actually a lot, so, and these are not really worth so much, honestly. So I'm gonna make this, yeah, I guess I'm gonna make it 8 million. So let's create a list. Equipment, not equipment, two modes, boss materials, we go for the shackles, and we have 94, and we go for 9 million each. And then we're gonna go for the dolls. So we're gonna unlist the shackles, gonna list the dolls. And they are, well, these prices are stupid, like nobody's gonna pay that. So we're gonna sell them for 9. Dolls go for 127, and we're just gonna sell them for 9 million. Let's go to our chat again. It's the same guy who already left, so whatever. So for whatever reason, nobody wants the blood, but we can already start listing the runes here. So this is the let's just check for the prices here also. We do the same story, right? We go for marketplace, and then we go for items. Then we go for runes, and then we're gonna just search for them. Like Samrune here or whatever. Right, and these go for like, well, let's make it 90, fair deal. Right, so we go for consumables, and then we go for runes. Then we go for this one here, and we sell 21 for 90 million each. Just remove all these friends here. Right, so next rune we have is Moni. So we go for runes. We go for this. And now we just have the Ton and the Tun runes left, or whatever these are called. Okay, so let's check again. Items. Go for the runes. And we have Ton. Ton. So these are 50s and these are 150. 150 probably good price. Maybe 180. So let's just do. I mean, this is just one, right? This is two. This is okay. So let's just do 150. Consumables, runes. That was on. We have 11 for 150 millions. What did just happen here? Press town portal. And then we have the next rune here. This is 19 for 50. Right, so now we got everything listed. And really, we almost sold everything already, so it really didn't really take so long. I mean, it was like a 20 minutes for trading. And just because really we had this issue with the patching, without the patching it would have been way faster. So because of this whole patch issue, everything got freaking confused. But yeah, so we still have the Exquisite Blood, which for whatever reason nobody wants to buy. So I don't know, maybe nobody wants it anymore. Kind of weird. So let's just check it again. So these are 10 million, 7 million. Where are mine? They are 9 million. 7 million, 450. I mean, these should sell, but you know what? Let's just delete these and relist them for 7, for just the sake of selling them. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. Let's just give them away for 7. Right, so this guy wants runes. This guy wants shackles. It's the same guy? Oh, right. Usually they're just gonna buy off everything, right? As you can see. So there's the blood selling. So it's also like, weirdly enough, it's always the same players kind of selling these, buying these. I don't even know why. Let's join this party. We just left the party? That's good. Right, so this one wants the 350 bloods. So yeah, since they are cheaper now, I guess they get sold faster. So let's see where they are.
Thank you.
This one wants the runes. Does that make sense? 1.6 billion, yeah. Alright. So here we are. We basically sold off everything with just a little bit of a problem because of the patch. And honestly, I don't even know how much money I had before. I will put it on the screen right now. So we had 54. I think I was at like 31 or something like that. So again, took a little longer, but we actually sold off everything, right? We have just like some little boss mats left. This is all sold off, and we sold all the runes except for these. And these 50 million runes sometimes just take a little bit longer to sell. But you know, somebody wants to craft Uber Enix is just gonna come and buy all 19 of these. That's usually the thing. And that's just how fast you sell off these things. So it's really not such a hassle. And you can do it slower, like me, or you can do it like, you know, boards on the boards the way I did it. But in general, you know, you should not fear to interact with the D4 economy. It's really not such a huge deal to sell off these items. I know that it's a little bit annoying, but it's definitely manageable. And, you know, compared to like taking the time to farm this gold as raw, this would take probably like a year to farm this amount of raw gold. Like the best raw gold farming methods is probably like somewhere around 70 to 80 million an hour, and it's just gonna take forever. So yeah, this was the full trading session basically. So just as a proof that you can sell off these items very fast and that these methods perfectly work, and everybody can use these, right? There's no gate to trading. As you can see, everybody can use this. It's a little bit annoying, but it still works, and now you can buy all the items you want.